Welcome to Tehran. In 2 days' time, Iranians will vote to renew their parliament in a key test for the country's regime. The test being how many people will show up to the polls, and not necessarily who will win. They are the first elections since mass protests broke out 2 years ago following the death of a young woman, Mahsa Amini, under suspicious circumstances after she was arrested for not wearing a hijab. In a culture famed for its subtlety of communication, there's nothing nuanced about Iran's position on some things. The American and Israeli flags are painted into the road to walk, drive, or whatever you like on. But despite the Middle East seeming on the brink of explosion, for voters here, this election is mostly domestic, and it's all about turnout. So the campaigning on the streets is all about taking part, not who you support. People here invited to write why they will vote.
I wrote I vote for the honor of Iran, and so that foreigners cannot come here and make decisions for us. We want to make decisions for ourselves.
But so many reformers have been disqualified and the choice is so narrow that most people are now expected to ignore the ballot box. This will be 18-year-old Baran's first time voting, but she knows she's in the minority. Do you think many young people will vote? Because a lot of people are saying no.
No, I think many young people don't vote.
And why?
Because they feel that their vote is not going to make a difference. They feel that their vote doesn't matter.
But it matters to Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, who addressed hundreds of first-time voters today, trying to harness their outrage at Palestinian deaths in Gaza as a reason to vote to uphold the Islamic Republic.
It became clear that Islamic faith is the factor that creates such power and resistance. The people stood firm under the bombardments. They did not surrender. They did not give up to the enemy, despite all the atrocities. They introduced Islam. This is Islam. This is Islamic faith.
این نتیجه دموکراسی از نوع لیبرال دموکراسی است.
The Ayatollah's hardline political support comes from the Paidari Front, set to be big winners this week. Its leader, Sadek Massouli, mocked Western liberal democracy today as a system that gives you a choice between Trump and Biden, one crazy, the other absent-minded. Iran is supporting Hamas, Iran is supporting the Houthis in Yemen. What are you trying to achieve?
The Islamic Republic is proud to defend the oppressed. The Islamic Republic has already declared that it defends oppressed people all across the world. This is a great honor for the Islamic Republic, which is based on Islamic teachings, because if we do not defend the oppressed, we are aiding the oppressor.
The oppressor in Iranian eyes is Israel, a nation the founding Ayatollah Khomeini said would be wiped off the face of the earth. Iran's place in the world is high in the national debate, and here they are collecting for civilians in Gaza. They've got anti-Israel, anti-Zionist, people would say anti-Semitic messages here at this collection point, and they commemorate the martyrs from all the conflict Iran has a finger in, from Lebanon to Syria and to Gaza, and there is the Ayatollah himself. But even in this country, when it comes to the election this week, for most people, it's not foreign policy, it's the economy, stupid. At Tajrish Bazaar, business is bad. Food inflation is soaring, around 100% for some goods. Most shopkeepers and customers wouldn't go on camera, some busy, some scared, some laughing at the idea of talking politics freely, but not all. Do you mind me asking, I mean, you're not covering your head. Do you feel worried about being out when you're not covered?
No. Nobody's ever given me any trouble. No one has.
Is that normal in Tehran, everywhere in Tehran, or is it just here?
No, I haven't had trouble anywhere.
You see, the people are not happy. This is the first thing when you see the people. They are not happy with anything, with their living, with their money, with their participate to everything. They don't trust the government. Many people around me, many people, I have many friendly people, and they say, oh, we don't participate in this election.
The other thing we're asking people about is the situation in Gaza. So do you think the people feel the same way as the government when it comes to regional politics?
No.
Are you kidding with me?
Iranian people like peace.
Yes.
They want to live in peace.
Yeah.
If you look at our history, all of the time they wanted to be in peace, but the government is the opposite of that.
But there is no option to vote for peace in this election, and Iran's government remains resolute, with many fronts now active in many countries, and itself on the brink of being a nuclear power. Well, Iran is the big regional power at the forefront of what it calls the Axis of Resistance, a coalition of political and armed groups across several countries who have long opposed American and Israeli influence in the region. The government of Iran funds, supports and influences these groups to greater and lesser degrees. Hezbollah in Lebanon is the largest and most well established. Its political branch has long formed part of the country's government. Its forces have regularly fired rockets into Israel and been met with missile strikes in response. Hamas has run the Gaza Strip both politically and militarily since 2007. Its armed wing carried out the October 7th attack, which both say was done without Iran's knowledge. In Yemen, the Houthis control large parts of the country following a protracted civil war. Iran supplies arms to the group, which has stepped up attacks on shipping in the Red Sea. In Syria, the Iranian regime is a staunch ally of the Assad government. It backs a network of militant groups that operate there and across the border in Iraq, which have attacked American troops in the region 170 times since October. 3 soldiers died after their base in Jordan was hit by an Iranian-made drone. The response from both Israel and the US has included drone strikes on group leaders and missile barrages targeting infrastructure used by the groups. It has, for now, slowed the tempo of the Axis of Resistance activity.